Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and welcome to game number 2 of this best of 3. It is a Zerg versus Terran and it's from DreamHack Valencia. It is pretty exciting, it is pretty damn cool, and it's two great players. Now game 1 was pretty quick, so I'll be interested to see how it all works out on Neoplanet S. Of course I have the running curse that I say Neoplanet S is a small map and therefore probably going to lead to shorter games, and then it goes on to be like 5 bases against 6 bases, and they're massively macro battle cruisers against like brood lords and swarm hosts, and it's just like so yeah, who knows what's going to happen, but we do know who the players are. Up in the top right hand position, spawning as the red Zerg, we do have HyuN. He's currently 1-0 up, and his opponent in the bottom left, the blue Terran, TheStC. Now unfortunately this is on the older version, well I say older version, it's not one of the patch games, obviously being from DreamHack Valencia, so I can't do that beautiful zoom out feature, which I have been playing with. I've been spoiled with it now, and it's going to mean the next couple of weeks of casting as like new replays start trickling through and I clear the backlog of older replays that I need to cast. I'm going to be switching between an interface where I can zoom out and I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful, and games when I can't, where I'll just feel a bit sad. Be like, oh, I'll be like, look at this amazing battle going on, and then I remember I can't zoom out, and it'll all be sad. And I hope you're sad too about that. And I wish they could have done it another way, but I can't. Also, I have to make you feel hopefully a bit better. My workload increases slightly because every time I switch between games, I have to re-log into StarCraft, which is, well, I haven't done it for a long time. Have a situation where patches have made replays unavailable for previous versions, but my goodness, it's frustrating. Now, the STC. Command Center first opening once more. Hatch first coming down from HyuN too, so both these two are macroing up for the time being, but that's fine. Nothing bad happened, remember game number 1 from macroing up early through the STC. It only really started to go bad when he decided to take a quick third CC and also go for double engineering base. He was just like, late game good. HyuN saw that opportunity and just decided to roach baiting all in. And it worked, because if you are producing off of basically 1 barracks and 1 factory only, and all of your money's going into tech and upgrades, you're not going to have much to defend with. Pro tip. But HyuN, he's just played that really well. He is now scouting out nice and early, knows that it was a command center first, because this overlord has seen the command center, sees the barracks still in construction. All good. Also sees the gas. Remember, this is something that wasn't scouted in game number 1 by HyuN. He never knew that it was coming down. So this is already a better position for the Zerg player to try and counter that, to try and get in a way where actually he can prepare appropriately. Now, that could be in a couple of ways. It could be that he decides to take an even quicker third. It could be that he tries to go a little bit more aggressive, knowing that that quick tech is going to be coming out. It could have also been a Reaper. It's potentially viable because there is quite a lot of cliff space on Neoplanet S. But probably not the most common thing you're going to be seeing after a CC first opening. So much more likely to be that factory coming down at a nice and proper time and everything looking fairly good. Now for HyuN, he's droning and droning a bit more. Does also have some Zerglings just running around, taking a good little look to make sure nothing too odd is happening. But also importantly, making sure that they know anything that comes over these ramps. This is just an early warning system for HyuN. This costs him, in essence, 1 supply and 50 minerals to know whenever the STC decides to move out and is heading for an aggressive play, be it with just 2 Hellions or be it with a small marine force or anything like that, giving HyuN the time to use the lava he's got there available to get out some Zerglings to be able to defend. Really smart play by HyuN, and something that every Zerg player should be doing. Now, in the meantime, we do see STC getting up that bunker, once more getting the reactor, getting the factory down, so it's all looking pretty much the same. Worker count 25 to 22, but quite a sizable chunk of a supply advantage to HyuN. It's not massive, but it's just because he's got a small work supply, small army supply as well with these 4 queens out, but nothing to write home to Christmas about. It's just like, you know what, everything's fine, everything's going normal. The STC, interestingly, is going for an identical build to game number 1, and that's a very brave move, because if HyuN identifies that this third CC is down once more, guess what? He could just go for that roach baiting all in once again and probably actually be in a really good spot, and that'd be very frustrating. The difference though is these overlords aren't going to have a harder time scouting out that CC. Remember previously on Acheron Waste, it was at the edge of the natural, so it was very easy to spot with Overlords. HyuN, not seen it yet. He is going to try and get up his third, hopefully pretty soon though, because we're already at 6 minutes 30. Remember in the previous game, HyuN took his third at 6 minutes. A lot sooner in response to that CC opening. This was even before he knew that the third command center was down there. So this is, at this point, already a bit later. HyuN taking the south base. We do see the queens are pushing back. Now one of the reasons that this hatch is later is because there's these two additional queens. 4 queens are needed though on Neo Planet S because you need the additional creep spread. Because it's rotational symmetry, you need to make sure you're spreading both ways in case units come the other, because the rush distance is the same. So all of this, really smart moves. Also we see that the double evolution chamber is coming down this game for HyuN. So different to game number 1 already. Going much more macro orientated, going to be getting the double upgrades, but they serve the added benefit of blocking off against any Hellions that try and sneak past. Very good play, very good move, very safe play too. Now, the Overlord that's come in here has spotted the third CC. Is it going to see the 2 engineering base? The answer is yes, it will. Very important scout there, because now, of course, HyuN knows precisely what the STC is doing. Quick cancel on 2 of those creep tubers, do manage to save them, but the third hatchery now spotted and located. The 6 Hellions just going to keep wheeling about, you know, taking a little look around here, taking a look and be like, oh, there's a gold base, isn't it pretty? Shiny gold crystals, minerals, just generally pretty damn cool. I also like the way they kind of glisten. If I was a Hellion, I'd just go and look at those all day. They're even prettier than burning Nidus worms. Now, 4th is on its way out here from HyuN in response to that 3rd orbit command that is coming down. The Overlord, of course, getting good vision. The creep spread still creeping its way along, just as it should be. Baneling Nest and 5 roaches are on their way out. Note, only 5. This is, again, how we know, even if we didn't know this 4th was down, that this wasn't the same Baneling roach all in. But having said that, 8 roaches now on the way. The Baneling Nest is also there. HyuN, he could very well go for it as a bit of a poke, but it's not as much of a commitment because of the fact that he's got that 4th down. If he didn't have the 4th, I'd totally be like, oh my goodness, he's doing it again, it's just a little bit later. But now, he's just going to be poking. He's also getting roach speed down. Everything about this build, with the 1-1 additionally, says that I could be going for some roach baneling aggression, but I'm not trying to end the game with this. I'm just trying to deal a little bit of damage, punish any greedy play. Plus the fact STC has 2 Widow Mines at the entrance to his natural this time. It's a much smaller natural, which makes it easy to defend. The Widow Mines can detonate a lot of banelings with 1 hit. Everything about it just means that it wouldn't be quite as viable. Plus 15 drones. That's a good indicator that this is not an all-in from here. And he's just getting those 8 roaches out in order to try and stop the Hellion play. Just sitting them around here. The Baneling Nest is going to be used for much more future in case it goes into biomine composition, which of course the STC is doing. Probably going to see HyuN start up a Spire fairly soon, to be honest, because Ling Bling Mutalisk tends to be the way that a lot of Zerg players go against this composition. So all looking very nice. The Widow Mines are slowly burrowing forward, taking a little peek. The orbit command getting blocked by the Hellions. Such irritating Hellions. They're delaying it by a second or 2. How dare they? Road speed is nearly finished up. 2-2 upgrades. They're also getting started nice and early for melee here for HyuN. But, ooh, a couple of Hellions are coming up the side here. Notice the creep spread for HyuN. Getting through absolutely every avenue. Oh no, the drones are creeping up together. This could be devastating. HyuN taking quite a bit of damage there. The Hellions will die for it, but did manage to get 6 drones. If a couple more shots had gone off, there was quite a few damaged drones there. That could have been devastating, but nonetheless, HyuN still managing to stay up at the 70 drone mark. HyuN sending a couple of Zerglings first, just to soak up any Baneling hits that might be occurring. Also sending a few SCVs to stuff the back, scout the 3rd, and even going to start picking away at an SCV, delaying a supply depot, which is a little frustrating. That Overlord is going to sneak away back home. But remember, even though these supply depots are coming down, HyuN does have a Baneling Nest, does have the gas to make some Banelings, and a couple of Speedlings sitting around at the bottom of the map. Now, over the top, we do see that the Marines, the Marauders, 2 Medevacs are going to come and try and punish this 4th. But once more, the creep spread for HyuN, just going really nicely in every direction, every avenue of attack. Banelings morphing, ready for a push into this 3rd. HyuN going for that aggressive Zerg style that we all know and love him for. So very nice to see. And yeah, with a good number of roaches and Banelings here to defend, I'm not too fearful actually about this working, and the counterattack could be huge. There is a bunk run, but it's only got 3 Marines in. The Banelings push straight through, 3 still remain, and that means that of course these SCVs could start taking some big hits. The Zergling's going to try and push through there, dealing some nice damage, but infantry coming back up here. Even though we managed to pick off those 3 supply depots, didn't really do much more damage in addition to that. Now, Overlords are very precariously placed around. They do have speed, so can get away if it wasn't for the fact that it was the edge of the map. This small little push not doing too much. HyuN's, again, little Zergling run by waiting for later. That gets cleaned up. STC did get marginally supply blocked there at 44 or 45, but nothing too huge with those supply depots coming out. Now, Quick little hub pick up there, trying to save the Marauders and the Marines. We do have a Spine Crawler on its way down. And, of course, there is a Spore there, too. These medevacs do need to be very careful. HyuN, if he's smart, will pull these queens over, ready to intercept. And if they focus the lower one, that's the one full of units, and it does get taken out. That is very frustrating. Only a Marauder and 2 Marines. And with the Zerglings coming back, the queen should be able to just about get away. So close there. HyuN transfusing it though to make sure it doesn't get picked off. Simultaneously though, a double drop at the south knocks out the 3rd base. That is frustrating. The SCC now ahead in the working count, 74 to 67. And with the sensor tower up at the 3rd, knows of anything that HyuN tries to move in. And that is exactly what HyuN's going to be doing, morphing in more banelings, 28 of them to be precise. And he's going to be trying to go in and deal a lot of damage, deny this 3rd base, because currently he's on equal bases with the SCC. And he knows his economy is going to be hurting after losing 17 drones. But yeah. Is HyuN going to be able to break this? He has got a lot of banelings. He has got 33 banelings. That is a sizable number. These tanks are getting some good shots off, but they are just rolling straight up here. The banelings, still so many of them surviving. Good hits on the Marines. A couple of roaches trying to sit there and act as a bit of a distraction, but the SCVs are just getting annihilated, and this is what HyuN needed. Quick little run by there. Kept most of his units alive. It wasn't particularly cost effective. Losing quite a sizable chunk, but what he has managed to do is deal some nice damage to that orbital command, being forced to lift again, otherwise it would get annihilated. HyuN losing about 1,500 more resources than that of his opponent, but the worker count now firmly in HyuN's favour again, and he's re-securing up that 4th. The infantry trying to chase down these banelings, roaches and zerglings, but they've got to be careful not to overcommit, because even with this tank support, you've got to be very, very cautious. Upgrades currently sitting 2-2 done for both players. And in terms of income, well, HyuN, he's up at 80 drones to 51 SCVs. His 4th soon to be retaken, and that is where his income is going to start skyrocketing. The only thing I'm concerned about for HyuN is the fact that he doesn't have an infestation pit, so he's not even headed towards a hive tech at 15, nearly 16 minutes into this game. Nor does he have Mutalisk, so he's got no way to easily shut down these medevacs. He's reliant on queens and spore crawlers to do so, and that's always going to be a bit difficult, because as we see, the medevac count actually pretty darn high. 7 of them out on the field, most of which being used for drops admittedly, and it's just, if there was Mutalisk here, this hot pickup couldn't occur, and that would instantly mean that HyuN could be whittling down this army, because that's one thing the SCC is keeping up with very nicely, is army supply. 117 to 120, but some good baneling hits can quickly change that. The Marauder will clear out some of it though, but still, banelings up against Marauders, not a cost-effective trade. HyuN losing now 2,100 more resources than that of the SCC, but he's making up for that by mining about 600 more minerals per minute, so that's all nice. This double drop still trying to do some damage to Queen, attempting to pick off the medevac, but the full medevac, near full health too. So that means HyuN will be forced to pull back some of these units, trying to focus down the medevac to prevent the escape, which is definitely what he wants to be doing. But simultaneously, again, this small little push coming up towards the 3rd. But HyuN splitting his army like a beast means that actually very little damage going to be done. Workers killed 29 to 17, currently in HyuN's favour after that big push into the 3rd. But a 4th CC is on its way down. We do have, of course, the 3-3 upgrades we're searching for the STC, whereas no 3-3 at the moment for HyuN, because he doesn't have that hive. It's only just recently got started. The Spire only recently got started too. This is meaning that actually HyuN falling behind in tech and upgrades going to be a little bit problematic for him, unless of course he just morphs in 34 banelings and decides to annihilate the space. It's a good second option, ladies and gentlemen, to just, you know, oh, I'm behind in tech, I guess I'll, you know, just go and win. That's the HyuN approach to this, is can I just kill him? And it's always a good way. Day 9, of course, always a firm believer in that. Maybe you should always be looking for the point where you can just win the game, because then you don't have to worry about anything after that. Now, HyuN is starting to move forward. The tanks are in a nice-ish position, but they don't have any vehicle upgrades, which means that really they aren't able to deal with these banelings in one shot. So the banelings come rolling in, annihilating a lot of this marine force. The SCV count gets tumbling down once more. 45 SCVs now killed. HyuN, with his hive, nearly finishes getting 60 more lings out. He's going to be able to start 3-3 melee, and he's also going to be able to start adrenal glands. Plus, he secured his 5th base on the gold. That is good news for him. The 4th orbital command was unfortunately not quite taken down. Quick little scan to make sure there's no burrowed banelings or anything like that, which could be a bit infuriating. HyuN is actually quite a big user of burrowed banelings, but oh my goodness, look at this. In comes some banelings. They want to party. They're going to be able to take out this bunker if they want to. And, of course, that means more SCVs get taken out. Couple of good hits there. Zerglings trying to pick up reinforcements, and the flood is coming behind it. Are you prepared for the swarm, the STC? Because it is coming for you. These Zerglings wrapping around all of the infantry as it starts moving forward. A big pullback is being forced, but a drop at this gold base is going to shut it down. The main of the SCC is getting siege. Roaches just starting to chip away at everything. HyuN prioritizing production facilities over really economy, knowing he's already done some good damage there, but the SCC is getting his own back. He's picking off that gold base. A couple more SCVs getting taken out, but the tanks, they have returned. Production facilities starting to fall pretty quick. All of the add-ons, bar one reactor, have been annihilated. That is very frustrating. The medevac is going to try and push in here, but with a good number of Zerglings, could be a little bit difficult to make that work. Especially with these 2-2 Lings. Now, Lings are also running around at the third base. A burrowed Zergling is going to prevent it landing. That's incredibly frustrating. We do still have a couple of Lings running about here. A barracks that's slowly burning down. Hopefully the SCC will repair that up, because if he doesn't, that will die. HyuN attempting to take the top left base. He's got his hive up, remember, and is getting a couple of Vipers. The reason the Vipers are critical is because that is going to allow him, by the way, the barracks is getting repaired, but the Vipers, they're going to allow for some good blinding clouds to come down on the tanks, nullifying any damage they could be doing. There's also the option for some good abducts on the tanks too. That could be potent, but HyuN and the SCC are going opposite sides of this. HyuN is going in for some more aggression. What is the SCC going to do? He could always base race, because let's face it, HyuN, he doesn't have anything that can attack air. But likewise, HyuN has got an economy still, and after some big bailing hits coming through here on the SCVs, that is something the SCC may not have. Only 13 SCVs remaining. This bottom right base is getting taken out, but the SCVs are all getting annihilated too. There's so many roaches in here. The production facility is being forced to lift. HyuN is just going for the jugular. Only 2 SCVs remain. All HyuN has to do is hold off this army and he will be fine, but the SCC is ahead by about 10 army supply. The Banelings rolling forward on creep. They're very fast. Quick pickup there. But remember, HyuN, he has no anti-air. He has no way to deal with these medevacs apart from queens and spore crawlers. Less than ideal. The roaches still cleaning out everything. The SCC floating his buildings forward. Gonna come and take these gold bases. Mass mule them, I have no doubt of that. The Zerglings, they are coming back too. The Banelings still sitting here. Need to be careful because of the siege tanks, because if they get some good hits off, the Banelings suddenly have become not a threat in the slightest. Now, the Viper, that's what I want to know. Where is this one lone Viper? He could be a hero. One blinding cloud here gets a lot of the tank fire out of the way. Certainly something that HyuN is going to be trying to achieve. He's got the Viper just kind of chilling around. Does have full energy, remember. Can come in there. The SCC completely supply blocked. No economy. He has got purely mules and mules alone. Meanwhile, HyuN, he's just coming up to that left base, but in come the Zerglings, in come the Banelings, a full surround attempting to be achieved here. The Viper not even being utilized. HyuN just crushing in with all of those Banelings. There's the blinding cloud on one tank, because you know what? You may as well. The STC now down to just 26 army supply. This is not looking too good for him, to be honest. He's got no SCVs, and GG is called. HyuN takes the series 2-0. Congratulations to him. So, if you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the video, make sure you leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, and if you don't want to miss one, well, subscribe and then you find out. And of course, follow me on Twitter and all of those cool things, because that would be pretty damn swish. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.